Hello all, I welcome my viewers to my YouTube channel ePolitical Science, and today I'll be talking on liberty and equality in political relationship, their meanings and how do they connect with each other, and the various viewpoints and perspectives which explains both the two. And also I'll be talking about their relationship in the next video, whether they are antagonistic to each other or they are complementary to each other, and how do we connect them, their similarities, etc. So let us begin, and this is a very important topic and it will help you in your UG exams as well as in your competitive exams. So let us begin this topic, the liberty and equality, dynamic interplay in political theory. Liberty and equality stands as fundamental. Often it is debated and it is pillar of political theory. Historically, these concepts they have been viewed as both either they are mutually reinforcing and inherently at odds. So this presentation, this topic will deal with their complex relationship, and it will examine how modern theorists strive to balance them to forge a truly just and equitable society. Now, if we look into the definition of liberty, what exactly is, as I always talk about that many times, it is the idea of freedom, and sometimes it is referred to as absence of restraint. Now, liberty in its core sense, it signifies the freedom to act, think, and express oneself without any interference, whether external, internal, be they governmental or societal. Now, here we can also talk about autonomy and choice. Now, it encompasses the individual's capacity for self governance and the right to make choices about one's own life, free from arbitrary coercion or that is oppression. Now, we can also talk about the civil and political rights. Key aspects include freedom of speech, assembly, religion, and the right to participate in the political process, shaping one's own destiny. Now, in this particular video, I am talking about both the political concepts. So, on the one hand, I'm trying to explain liberty, and on the other hand, I'm trying to explain equality, and then I'm trying to look into the relationship between the two. Now, when we try to define equality, now the first thing that comes to mind is legal equality, ensures everyone is treated the same under the law. Article 14 talks about it. Now, possessing identical rights and protections, irrespective of background, equality of opportunity. Article 16 talks about it. Now, focuses on providing fair chances for all individuals to succeed, removing artificial barriers based on social status, race, gender, caste, etc. Now, equality of outcome, and it's there also in your syllabus, and you keep reading. So, aims for a more equal distribution of wealth, resources, and social goods among all members of society, often requiring a redistribution. Now, I'll talk about equality of outcome in details. So, why it is important and how do we look into it from which perspective? Now, if we see their relationship, obviously there is an interdependence. When liberty and equality they both align. Now, far from being solely antithetical, both often function as interdependent forces. Now, why I say here, because each they are crucial for the flourishing of the other. Now, their reciprocal relationship forms the bedrock of a robust and just democratic framework. Now, liberty fuels fairness. The freedom to express grievances and organize facilitates movements for social justice and equitable reforms. Equality secures liberty. Without fundamental equality, liberty can become a privilege for a few, as legal protections ensure freedom for all, not just the powerful. Now, legal safeguards, the constitutional guarantees of equality before the law, as I talked about, directly uphold and reinforce civil liberties for every citizen. Now, where do we find the areas of conflict? Is there any conflict? Now, despite their potential for synergy, they frequently collide, especially when different interpretations or priorities they are emphasized. This tension often enters centers on the distinction between individual freedom and collective well-being. Now, liberty's expansion, if we look into it, so unfettered individual liberty can inadvertently lead to significant disparities where some individuals gain disproportionate advantages and which creates societal inequalities. Now, equality is constraints. Now, conversely, pursuing radical equality of outcome may necessitate restrictions on individual freedoms, particularly economic liberties, to redistribute resources. So, the more equality you have, the less liberty you have. The less equality you have, the more liberty you have. Sometimes this interpretation also comes into light, so we have to keep into mind how we can make them uh, more positive to each other, and how also we are talking about how they are conflicting. Sometimes if they are colliding, how do we balance between the both? Now, harmonization is very important. Harmonization in practice. Now, as I told about balancing the ideals, now modern democracies, they strive to navigate the inherent tension between liberty and equality by implementing systems that promote a delicate balance. This often involves establishing frameworks that uphold individual rights while ensuring a baseline of fairness for all. Now, I told you about the constitutional frameworks. So, there are many constitutional frameworks which talk about how liberties and equalities they are protected. Then, anti discrimination laws are there, social safety nets are there, public education, healthcare, welfare programs. They aim to provide essential opportunities which reduce extreme disparities. Now, philosopher Ronald Dworkin is a famous scholar who argued for a society based on equal concern and respect, where liberty is understood within a framework that ensures everyone has a fair starting point. Now, if we look into the summarizing table, and both when we look into liberty and equality at a glance, now liberty core value is freedom to act, think, and express. Equality, equal rights, opportunities, status. Now, relationship, they are very important for democracy, just democracy. Now, when they conflict, it may enable large inequalities, now may restrict individual freedoms. Balancing act is therefore crucial. Now, harmonization is why important, because equal legal protection should be there in liberty, inequality, social justice measures should be there, and so that both the two can strengthen each other. Now, when there is a core tension between the both, so how do we look into? So, I told many times in the class also. So, when they are contradictory or they are conflicting with each other, we find that negative liberty mostly versus substantial equality. Now, a central philosophical debate hinges on two distinct conceptions that often clash: the idea of freedom from interdependence versus the pursuit of equality of outcome. Now, negative liberty. Now, negative liberty does not believe in any idea of restraints, coercion. So, thinkers like John Locke, Isaiah Berlin, they agreed with this view, where individuals they are free when no one prevents them from acting according to their own will. Not emphasizes individual rights and minimal state intervention. Now, on the other hand, when we talk about substantive equality, it focuses on achieving fair outcomes and a more equitable distribution of resources and opportunities across society. This often requires state intervention such as wealth redistribution, social programs, social protection programs, affirmative action policies, which you will also be dealing with to mitigate these disadvantages. So, this is one tension. Then, if you look into this tension and then try to understand through the various interpretation, for example the libertarian interpretation, so the prominent thinkers like Hayek, Nozick argue that individual freedom is the paramount value, asserting that attempts to enforce equality of outcome inevitably infringes upon the fundamental freedoms. Now, liberty as primary. Now, according to this view, individual freedom, particularly the economic liberty, is the bedrock of a prosperous and just society. Any state action that reduces this freedom, even for ostensibly good reasons like redistribution, is seen as morally problematic. Now, equality of outcome is coercive. They contend that enforcing equal outcomes requires central planning and infringes on individual rights to their property and the fruits of their labor. So, Friedman Haig, uh, specifically warns against the fatal conceit of trying to plan society. Now, the race metaphor. Now, when we look into the race metaphor, who is going to win, whether it is the liberty or the equality, which is more important, often the analogy of a race is used. Society should ensure everyone starts at the same time, equality of opportunity, but should not hold back the fastest runners, that is, limiting liberty to ensure everyone finishes at the same time. So, this is a metaphor here. Now, the other interpretation, that is the egalitarian and the republican views. Now, if we look into the egalitarian and the republican views, for example, the liberal egalitarian or the social democrat, there are thinkers like Marshall and John Rawls who argue that true liberty requires a baseline of equality. Rawls talks about theory of justice, where he talks about the difference principle, which states that inequalities are only permissible if they benefit the least advantaged people in society. So, without basic healthcare, without basic education, without basic social security nets, individuals lack the real capacity to exercise their freedoms. Now, on the other hand, if you look into the civic republican view, drawing from the idea of Rousseau and modern republican Philip Pettit, this perspective defines liberty as non domination, freedom from arbitrary power. This is active form of liberty or self government, inherently demanding civic equality. It also believes that if some citizens are systematically subject to the arbitrary will of others, for example through economic dependency or social hierarchy, they are not truly free. Now, the other viewpoint is the Marxist viewpoint, and which is also known as the critical theory. Now, what these interpretations view? These thinkers, for example, Marx and the modern critical theorists, they think that the equality of opportunity they talk about versus the equality of outcome, a classic distinction so they make here. So most modern democracies endorse equality of opportunity, that is level playing field, but disagree fiercely on whether this requires actively managing equality of outcome, that is to wealth distribution, or to major opportunities to make it more equal. Now, liberal liberty or equality, they sometimes mask exploitation. So, true emancipation requires class system overhaul. So, here the argument, which is that in a capitalist society, when we talk about the critical theory, formal liberty and equality mask underlying exploitations and class conflict. So, the liberty of the worker to sell their labor, such for example, in reality, the freedom to choose which capitalist to be exploited by. This legal equality between the billionaire and the pauper is a fiction that ignores their vastly different power, real power. So, for Marxism, true human emancipation is a synthesis of genuine liberty and equality. It can only be achieved by overthrowing the class system that inherently produces inequality. So when we are talking about, they are talking about how the formal equality can lead to more exploitation in the same. I think if we talk about the liberty also, so we need to talk about the positive liberty and not negative liberty here. So here again, as I told you, how the positive liberty J.S. Mill is talking about, and how positive liberty helps in further bridging the gap. Now, also I talk about the social citizenship. We look into the T.H. Marshall's concept. This idea of full citizenship in the 20th century requires not just civil and political rights, it also requires liberty and the vote, but also talks about the social rights, that is rights in education, healthcare, economic security, which ensures a basic level of equality. Now, so if you conclude now the all interpretations which I talked about, libertarian interpretations, and then the civil and republican interpretation, and Marxist interpretations. So there is a very important relationship, strong relationship between liberty and equality, and it is not a puzzle to be solved, but it is dynamic to be managed. So it cannot be just one to one. We say that liberty is antagonistic, or it is not it is complementary. We cannot just conclude like that. So I'll be talking about the whole exact which school thought is talking about the antagonism and the supplementary aspect. So the whole video. So here I just talked about the liberty and equality, introduced how liberty is a political value, what does it mean, what are the who are the thinkers which and what they are talking about. So and also negative liberty and positive liberty when we are talking about, and when we are talking about the equality, what exactly it's opportunity, equality of opportunity, or equality of outcome. So there is no perfect balance, and different societies they strive to take this balance in different places on the spectrum between laissez-faire capitalism and social democracy. The enduring debate reflects a deep and valuable question: what is the true meaning of freedom? Is it simply the absence of a lease, or is it the possession of the resources, health, and the education which is needed to live in a fulfilling life? So, most contemporary democratic theory leans towards the mutually reinforcing view, accepting that a moderate limitations of absolute negative liberty, that is through taxation and regulation, is necessary to foster the conditions under which liberty can be meaningfully exercised by all, not just the privileged few. So, liberty and equality, dynamic, and so they need to be managed. There is no perfect balance, and it varies from society to society. So, true freedom or resources, rights to live fully is needed, and most democracies they favor mutual reinforcement, mostly because if liberty is there, equality also needs to be there. So further we'll all enhance more in the other video, and who are the scholars who are talking about their antagonism and who are talking about their favoritism. So we'll talk about that, and then we can further build more important relationship between the two. So whether if one is there, the other cannot be imagined. Exactly, this is the scenario, or the vice versa. So stay tuned, students and viewers who are preparing for competitive exams. So I have made a playlist on political theory, and there are many videos there, many important videos, both for the honors program and other papers, major minor. So please stay tuned, and if you feel that you have any questions, you can put across it and I'll reply to it. Have a nice day. Thank you.